Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigil here, welcome back to another video. So, we got the official release of the Blue Beetle passives and abilities at 7 stars. We're going to take a look at that. We got the rough idea of how that was gonna go when we got the leaks from the data mining, but they were poorly translated from Russian. So now that we got the English version of it, it's going to be a lot more of a smooth experience to analyze this. So that's what I'm going to do over here. Though keep in mind that everything I say here might be invalid as soon as the character releases, because we don't know anything until we get the hands on the character to play the character. Because, for example, Constantine sounded pretty good, but it was quite lackluster, to be honest. So let's take a look at this and let's see how it goes. First of all, the Scarab's Awakening. So the Chosen Scarab Blue Beetle's combat abilities are enhanced by accumulating fast attack chance stacks through successful swipes and tag attacks. Stack counts to decrease after a short time. So the stacks are going to decrease and you can increase them by swipes and tags. Most likely you're going to mainly increase them by swipes. It's not worth to tag in and out only for this purpose, and as we get into more of this character, we'll see that you'll prefer a gameplay where he constantly sits in the fight, something similar to Black Manta. Of course, you're gonna tag in and out when you're using Raven or something like that, but for the most part, he likes to stay in the fight. You're gonna get plus 10% fast actions for each successful swipe or tag attack, up to 60%, and the stacks are going to last for 10 seconds. Now, the stack lasting for 10 seconds is a bit of a weird thing. It might be constantly expiring stacks like we had with the previous way the Batman Ninja team worked. We might have the same way that the Batman Ninja team works now, where you're going to cap at the maximum amount of stacks and they're pretty much never going to expire. But we can only wait and see how that goes. And another thing that's very important about this is that plus 10%, because not a flat 10%. And yet again, they don't really have consistency with this, because most likely when they released the Batman Ninja team, there was another team developing those characters. But with the Batman Ninja team, Batman Ninja Catwoman, for example, you got plus a certain amount of lethal chance on third special. If you have absolutely no lethal chance on Batman Ninja Catwoman, that's not gonna give you lethal chance, but it's going to increase the lethal chance that you already have above the cap. So if that's the case here, and you're going to be able to increase the value that you already have a fast attack chance and give him 100% fast attack chance pretty much, though I'm not sure the math adds up, because you can get maximum of 75, and then you add 60% of that. Yeah, the math does add up. If this works like the Batman Ninja Catwoman third special, this is going to put him at a 100% fast actions, and in that case, it's pretty good. The next passive is going to be Scarab Evolve. Scarab's Chosen Blue Beetle's suit state changes with successful fast attack hits, with the first state granting a chance to deal lethal attacks, the second enhancing armor pierce, and the final state improving crit chance. So every 30 successful fast attack hits will improve the suit. And yet again, this is another thing that we'll know only when we get the hands on the character, but the fast attack hits might be calculated in two different ways. First way is whenever you hit a fast attack hit, you're going to get one of those increases, or the amount of fast attack hits that you have are going to count towards that, and he has ways, as we'll get further into this, to increase his fast attack hits. So let's say he hits a fast attack and he's got 5 fast attack hits. Will that give him 5 stacks or 1 stack? We don't know yet, but we'll see. And we have yet again the plus values. Plus 70% lethal, plus 70% armor pierce, and plus 70% crit chance. The armor pierce is not the most relevant thing, because you can get it maxed out to 100% and you don't always need it, but with the lethal and crits, it's gonna be yet again very dependent on if it works the same way as it works with the Batman Ninja team, where it increases the value you already have and it goes above the cap, or it's just a flat amount. Though yet again, the wording on it with plus 70% hints at increasing the amount you already have, and that's pretty good as well. And also, the Scarab Chosen Blue Beetle increases damage with successful lethal crits and armor pierce, and is going to stack all the way up to 500%. And this is one of those things that I really wonder how it's going to scale with the star rating, if it scales the way that you can still gets to 500% at lower star ratings, but it's gonna be slower, then it's good. If it's gonna lower the maximum amount at which you can get to, it's not that great of a character design, not that free-to-play friendly. And it's a 500% damage buff, it's good. It's good, but it's not enough to make this character work by himself. With this passive alone, you subtract the percentage hull damage that King does, and he's gonna be as good as King, only having this passive, if we don't count for King percentage hull damage. So by default, by having this passive, you're gonna get the interactions of Raven plus Blue Beetle with Twin Blades, dealing 2 billion damage, because there's that 500% damage. And it's gonna be a lot more convenient to stack than it is with the new Shazam that they released, because he's also got going all the way up to 500%, or a bit more than that actually. I think he's got a bit more than 500% damage stacks. But with the new Shazam, it's extremely inconvenient to get that. With this guy, you just see the enemy and it's going to stack. So yeah, that's good. And taking a look at all of this, if everything here worked well and worked in the best way possible, it would be pretty good, but not insanely good. But we have something more in the abilities to discuss. The special one is going to deal some damage, and a bit more importantly, it's going to change your class to counter the opponent's class. That is not the most relative and the most relevant thing in the game. It's gonna be just a small damage increase, but hey, it's costing you only 3 power bars, so why not do it? I wonder how this is going to actually work with the fights where the opponent disables gears, because he's gonna get in there with the tech class. So I get in there with the tech class, the enemy disables gears for tech, and I switch class to, let's say, agility, because agility counters that specific boss. Am I gonna get my gear bonuses back or not? It could be extremely useful for denying the gears disabled on some fights. That modifier can get pretty annoying. And yeah, yet again, not the biggest deal, but hey, it costs you only 3 power bars, and it's a decent damage buff. Can't complain about this. Also, the second special is going to give you unhittable for 15 seconds. Unhittable works similar to the Collector vs Superman special 2, I think, or it should work, to the point where you're not gonna be reflecting the damage the way Collector does, but you're still not gonna get hit and staggered, which pretty much enables zero effort combo interruption, which is something that I really love to see here. And yeah, we'll see how this works specifically, but yeah, that's pretty good regardless. And I'm glad that so far, and that's going to include the third special, I haven't gotten there yet, every single ability does something, and it's something that's, even though not game-breaking, it's something that's usable in some scenarios, if not all scenarios, and I really appreciate that. It looks like it's a bit more effort put into these abilities. And the third special is going to be the make it or break for this character alongside with the super move, because the third special is going to... Let's read the description. Though I haven't really read it for the other two specials, because they kind of describe how the special works in terms of the animation. But yeah, it's going to deal some damage, and it's going to give you +1 fast attack hit for each Carib evolve stack you have for 60 seconds. And the fast attack hits can exceed the cap. Well, they can exceed the cap that you already see in the game, but can they exceed any cap? Because as we know, with a lot of things that they say this can exceed the cap, it has a further cap that it can't exceed usually. We'll see how this goes. And another thing is, we have, in terms of Scarab Evolve, 3 stages. If we get all those 3 stages, you're gonna get plus 3 additional fast attack hits. Combine that with the 2 base amount that he's gonna have most likely, or maybe more than that, I don't exactly know. And you're going to get 5 fast attack hits, which is pretty good. But it says that it's going to last for 60 seconds. A very, very important thing here. Like, considering everything we've seen so far, I can tell you already that this, on paper at least, is going to be a pretty decent character. But he might be one of the best characters in the game if those 60 seconds of fast attack hits are going to be separate from each other, to the point where you can trigger this multiple times and have the fast attack hit buffs independent from each other. So you have you trigger one of them, it's gonna be at 60 seconds, and then by the time this is at 50 seconds, you trigger another one, and it works like a separate thing, like the All Blades Tagging, if you know what I'm talking about here. And if you can get like crazy amounts of fast attack hits with this, let's say you can go all the way up to, I don't know, 12 fast attack hits, that's gonna be absolutely insane. And also the super move is going to give you plus 100% fast attack hit damage for each Scarab evolve. Again, we can evolve the Scarab 3 times, so this is going to be all the way up to 300% fast attack damage, which is yet again pretty good. It's pretty good, and it's gonna work amazingly well with against target damage multipliers like the Raven thing and the Puppet negative effects. So this also has the potential to be really good. And yeah, that's gonna be it with all those abilities. Again, we don't know if this man is gonna be good until we get the characters hands-on and play him. But I'm getting a pretty goddamn good impression from what I'm seeing here. That's all I'm gonna say for now, and we'll talk more about this when we get some hands-on gameplay. But thanks so much for watching, like it if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!